I am basically a filmmaker. I primarily do production design,
Okay.
which is set building and virtual set building and construction and carpentry and all that. So, and I also do virtual, like I said, I make virtual environments, make games and stuff, metaverse
Okay.
designs and stuff like that. So I am basically producing this animation film now with a friend of mine who scripted it and written it. And we basically finished our fundraising just a little while ago, and we've been able to come up with that 10,000 budget that I told you. But that's like everything. Nobody's
Okay.
giving us anything else. We are trying to make a 7-minute video in sort of like a Pixar style animation.
Okay.
Vibrant with cute characters, but it doesn't need to be as high class as today's Pixar. It can be like Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2, where it was the things were still simple, but it looked good and it looked cute.
Okay.
So that's kind of the idea. We are hoping to get it made in 3 months,
Okay.
and we have a script ready. But then we are looking for someone to handle, like I'm producing it, so I'm looking for someone to handle the entire pipeline end to end. And the animation video is basically a pilot episode that we are hoping, we can then sell to a distributor
Okay.
who can give us a contract for the further episodes, and then we can, of course, we'll have that'll basically mean that if it all goes well, then we'll all get something like 12 episodes, 8 episodes, something like that. Right. So, but that's still like after the pilot, we need to, kind of, that's the distribution team's work. It's like a kids बच्चों के जो animation होते हैं ना, cartoons, like a proper kids animation cartoon,
Yes.
where they will have some fun, then they will face a challenge, then they will learn a moral lesson from it, right?
Hmm.
Basically the kids will it's the story of a few kids who are walking around in a garden, and they will face challenges at certain points, and they need to use the skills that they learned along the path to
Okay.
overcome the challenge. That's the idea. And each episode will be one challenge. वैसे तो एक ऐसा काइंडनेस के ऊपर रहेगा, एक हैप्पीनेस के ऊपर रहेगा, एक केयरिंग के ऊपर रहेगा, वैसे.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the project. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
So yeah, I've been doing this Pixar style animation from like last 4 to 5 years, and so far I have made almost, I can say, like 30 to 40 videos in such quality. So yeah, I definitely can do this project, but yeah, it all depends on the complexity of the script and number of character. Just so I can understand, then I can like tell you the exact cost that it is going to take. Usually the cost that I charge for Pixar style animations revolves around like $3,000 to $5,000 per minute, but it is like longer the video, lesser the per minute cost can be. If the video is like 1 minute only, or let's say 2 minutes, then the cost can be like 4,000, 5,000 per minute. But if the video is like in your case, it will be somewhere around like 7 minute to 10 minute approx. So like per minute cost can be approximately like 2 to 3, or can be like 3,500. But yeah, it depends on the script. First I need to go through it so that I can understand all the complexity that is there. Then I can be like more sure about the cost. And the timeline, 3 month, I think that is enough, because we like make videos in step. Like the entire production will be in step. First step will be to make character sketches. Like I will make all the character sketches for the characters involved in the video, and then we'll take approval from you. And after you approve the character sketches, then we will go ahead with making the video storyboard, so that we can take approval of all the camera angles, action sequences, and like sound effects and everything. And after the video storyboard, then we will make 3D models of the approved sketches, and after that we will make the final animation. So that's how we make things will go step by step, so that we can do revisions as well if needed at any time. So that's the pretty much process, and that's how it works.
Awesome. Okay. How big is your team?
It is like 10 to 12 people approx.
Okay, nice. And can you show me some of your work, some of your kids' work primarily?
Yeah, for sure. I can like share my screen and even show you the process of making it.
Yeah.
So this is the first character sketch that we made. Like basically was first we make character sketches, and then like these are the 3D models that we made after the approval of the character sketches. And this is the storyboard that I was talking about, like video storyboard. It looks something like this, like the camera angles, all the like action sequences which is going to be there, so that storyboard will capture almost everything, like sound effects, everything, camera angle, so we can take approvals and all these things. So this is the video storyboard we make. Then we do a lot of revisions at this stage, so we can make sure that we avoid a lot of revision at animation stage.
No, that's great, man. You guys have a lot of experience with this, so this is good. What I can do is I'll walk you through. Let me hijack the screen once. This is the script. I have a full script. It's around 6-7 pages long. The script is for 6.5 to 7 minutes long.
Okay.
I'll send you the first 2 pages so that you can, use that as a reference to get an idea for what to do. I'll also send you this
Okay.
proposal breakdown, which I did for the script. Ignore the game part. This is like phase 2. I don't know if you guys do games and stuff as well.
Game development we don't, but like we make game trailers and all these stuffs, like
Ha,
game
ha.
assets and all.
Proposal, it says, it mentions everything. Characters, technically only 7 characters, primary characters.
Okay.
These are secondary characters. Like this one is just a hand. This is just a person's hand, so you don't see anything else.
Okay, got
And
it.
these are just the other background students, so these can just be reskinned and recolored.
Okay.
Environments wise, मैंने 8 लिखे हैं, but technically there are just 4. There is the front of a school,
Okay.
like the front part of the school.
Okay.
There is one classroom, and then there is another classroom, the insides of the classroom.
Okay.
And they're like elementary school.
Okay.
Then there's a garden basically, and this is where most of the movie will happen, and they will face their challenge, and they'll learn a moral lesson, and then they will have to use the moral lesson they learn over here in the next episode basically.
Okay.
So that's kind of the idea, or whatever, they will use the moral lesson here to overcome the challenge.
Okay.
Right, so there'll be the front part of the garden. There'll be, of course, inside the garden. Then there is, like a particular spot on path of the garden where there is the first step. That's where they'll face their challenge. So it's a path with a lot of steps, with distance between the steps. And then there's, of course, the rest of the garden around it. So that's kind of the idea. Assets wise, in the script, only 9 are specifically mentioned, like a signboard. Only 9 are mentioned, so its script is a little non-descriptive. So you guys will have a lot of wiggle room to do with what you guys want to have in creativity wise and stuff like that.
Okay.
But basically, we'll need like school ke front ke assets. So whatever you have in front of a school, like the signboard, maybe there'll be like a trash can, whatever. Then of course the classrooms, inside one classroom, second classroom, and then the garden and the gateway ka assets rahega, or then environmental assets rahenge. This is from my thinking, and this is my estimation, so don't stick to it if you don't want to. You can, so give me your estimate, timeline, and your budget in your proposal which you sent to me.
Okay.
The reason why I split it this way is because I come from like live action background, like film background. So we put a lot of focus on pre-production. Like we don't get to change costume once we start filming. That gets screwed. And so you need to get everything sorted in this thing. So that's kind of and so I'm handling the animation, like I said, production and the producing and the game part of it. And also, we can, of course, the thinking is that we'll use the assets that we used for the animation in the game.
Okay.
Right, that'll be like perfect. And so that's why I gave a lot of focus to pre-production here. So just give me your estimate for this, and what I'll walk you through is what I broke down from my research. So yeah, animatics, like you showed me, that'll be great. I do focus a lot on animatics and storyboarding part. That way we'll be able to iron out everything. I'll also want regular play blasts from you guys whenever we make updates and changes and stuff like that, just so that everybody's on the same page, right? And so we can work this out separately.
Like before rendering,
once you
I
guys
can
send
send
me
you a like full video play blast. Like before rendering, I can send you.
Yeah. Basically, that's what we'll need, right? So even if you make if you make like a significant change somewhere, then you can just send me that chota chunk. You don't have to send me the entire thing, right? You can just send me that clip. You can say render from this frame to this frame. This is how it looks like now.
Got it.
But it doesn't have to be render. Play blasts don't need to be like full fledged. Right. So anyways, so I'll send you these two. In my thinking, now let me show you. We are not going for something high level like the ones you showed me, because the ones you showed me are like Toy Story 5. Toy Story 5 models are like the ones that you showed me, right? They're high, like extremely high detail. Like look at the detail in his hair, in his skin. The fur also, you can see the fur roughness over here and the fur texture over here on his shirt, right? You can see the tiny fur over
that's
here.
How I also
We don't need that. I feel like that will be very expensive for our budget. Like I told you, our budget is hard 10,000. So if you think ki, in the future maybe $1 se zyada hoga budget, so you quote me for 9,099 so that I can give you $1 in the future if we go over budget. because like I said, now we've stopped fundraising for pilot episode. 10,000 is all we have, once you guys start, because we want to keep things moving. And in our mind, it is that if we want to sell the animated series as a package, it will be great to have a game associated, right?
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Even if we go to the distributor and say, hey, give me 2 months more, we'll give you a game, and then we can sign a MOU or something like that, and then sign a contract on that. Even that works for us. So that's what our focus will shift to. So our budget is hard 10,000. We can't do anything beyond that. So just let me know phase wise how you would break it down. Of course, take into account, like, if it goes over, goes under, we won't be able to adjust if it goes over.
Okay, yeah,
So,
I understand.
this is kind of what we are going for. Toy Story 1, where you see now over here, the color palette is a little bland, so we want something more bright and poppy color palette. But you can clearly see a difference between this fur over here and then this guy's
Exactly.
fur over here,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
So we want something more simple that will not be too expensive for
Got
us to get out, right? And maybe season 2, when it comes out, we can move to something like this, where even hair strands, we can see the individual hair strands. Like when your model rotated her, there was, the hair fluid motion in her hair also.
Exactly.
So we don't need that high level. So of course we want some fluidity, but utna high level nahi chahiye. It should still look good, like the characters are cute and lovely, and the golu molu types. So fun characters. All our characters are basically chota school students, right?
Yeah.
So we need to take that into account. All these kids are school students.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So that's kind of the thing. So give me a quote on your side.
Okay.
And of course, we'll have, if things go well, we'll have probably 8 or 12 episodes, of which I think 6 are already scripted. So that should be good.
Okay, understood. So after seeing all these details, I think, yeah, we can do this project at $10,000. But yeah, we need, like, if you need it in like 2 to 3 months, we definitely need to start sooner, because I see there are a lot of characters and asset that needs to be pre-made.
Yeah.
Before we start animation. So first we have to spend a lot of time on like asset creation, character creation, then storyboarding, animatics, then
Yeah.
regions, then animation. So sooner we start, sooner we
Yeah.
finish. I think, yeah, $10,000 we can start with. We can break down this in like 4 milestones. First milestone can be like $2,000 for all the character sketches. Second can be another 2,000 for the storyboard, and third can be another 2,000 can be for the like storyboard, animatics proper, and like the rest, I think 4,000 left. Then 4,000 can be for animation. How does this sound?
So can you send me this? Can you send me that as a proposal on this thing?
Yeah, on Upwork.
On Upwork, as just as a message, break it down, and what your timeline breakdown would be within the 2 to 3 months. How long do you think phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and since you're bringing phase 4 also, so how would you divide the phases, and of course how you're breaking them down cost wise?
Okay. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I will send you through.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, looking forward to working with you.